Hi, and welcome to this review for the Nevada Proficiency Exam, or hey, if you just needed to know more about natural and artificial selection. This is content benchmark L12D6. What does that mean? You have to know about what's natural and what's artificial selection. Here we go. Number 1, what term describes the ability of an organism to survive and reproduce in its environment? A, evolution, B, fitness, C, artificial selection, D, natural selection. Well, I'm going to be honest. Most people are going to, and this is kind of where I went the first time, is to natural selection. But that's not it. The ability to survive and reproduce is fitness. And basically by being fit, you have babies, and the babies actually survive. Okay? That's what fitness means. It means that you're passing on your genetic traits. Okay? Which term describes the ability of an organism to survive and reproduce in its environment? Fitness. An individual in a population that is considered the most fit would A, live the longest, B, consume the most food, C, produce the most fertile offspring, and D, be the strongest and the fastest. Well, I can be the strongest and the fastest, but remember, fitness is about the reproduction too, the passing on the traits to the children. So that wouldn't be a good one, because you can be the strongest and fastest and not have any children. You can also consume the most food and not have any children. You can also live the longest and not pass on your genetic traits. It's C, produce the most fertile offspring. Again, an individual in a population that is considered the most fit would produce the most fertile offspring. Which of the following is not one of Darwin's key points in the theory of natural selection? A, variation naturally exists within a species. B, more offspring are produced than will survive. Well, that is one of his key theories, so let's cross B off. C, organisms compete for limited resources. That's the whole basis of natural selection. D, organisms can inherit acquired characteristics. There you go. So the correct answer is A, variation naturally exists within a species. Okay? So again, to the following is not one of Darwin's key points in his theory. He did not believe that variation naturally exists within a species. Use the picture below to answer the following question that follows. Which statement below would an evolutionary biologist use to explain why bird 1 has a longer beak than the other birds shown? A, bird 1 stretched its beak more than bird 2, 3, and 4, causing its beak to grow. B, bird 1 encountered larger seeds and grew a larger beak to eat the large seeds. C, a random mutation caused bird 2, bird 3, and bird 4 to develop smaller beaks. D, some birds naturally have a larger beak, and it was beneficial to bird 1's environment. That would be what an evolutionary biologist would say, because this beak developed as a result, and this one was able to have more children as a result that they were able to get the feed. It was beneficial to the environment, and that's why there's more of those in that type of beak in bird 1's environment. Again, which statement below would an evolutionary biologist use to explain why bird 1 has a larger beak than the other birds shown? Some birds naturally have a larger beak, and it was beneficial. So because it was beneficial, more of those birds had babies. And so then more of that beak was evolved into that area. Which of the following does not explain why evolution is described as the unifying theory of biology? It verifies the existence of intelligent design. It explains how organisms change over time. It does do that. It provides a model to interpret relationships among organisms. It does do that. It offers an explanation for the diversity of life on the planet. It does do that. So, correct answer, what does it not explain? It verifies the existence of an intelligent designer. Which of the following does not explain why evolution is described as the unifying theory of biology? A, it verifies the existence of an intelligent designer. And remember, a key word here was not. Remember to pay attention to that, guys. If more than one answer is correct, you definitely want to reread your answer and check and make sure that there was a not in there. The graph below represent the different types of selection that populations may experience. Use the graphs to answer the question that follows. Which graph will most likely result in the formation of two separate species over time? It's stabilizing to me just doesn't look like it's going to. When I come over to graph 3, disruptive, look at how that one forms. And then see, to me, that suggests that it could possibly lead to two separate species. So just looking at the graph, so maybe not necessarily knowing what disruptive selection is, which it does mean that the formation of two separate species, I would pick graph 3. Okay, again, graph 3 shows us disruptive selection, which would show us eventually that we'd have formation of two separate species. The process of domesticating dogs and cats occurred through A, artificial selection, B, natural selection, C, disruptive selection, D, stabilizing selection. I hope that just because you guys paid attention to what we're supposed to know, that you should get it down to artificial and natural selection. And if you know anything about domestic dogs and cats, they're not necessarily bred for what's best for their environment. They're bred best for the owner. It's artificial selection. We control who the dog breeds with and what kind of puppies we get. The process of domesticating dogs and cats occurred through artificial selection. Which of the following statements describes the benefit of artificial selection? So again, guys, we're looking for something good because that's what the word benefit means. Benefit is good. Selectively bred organisms are more susceptible to disease or changes in the environment. So susceptible means they're more likely to get them. Wrong answer, because we're looking for benefit. Provide farmers with high-yielding crops resulting in more profits. That would be a benefit. Alter the gene frequencies compared to those of the natural population. Is that really a benefit? Maybe, maybe not. That one's kind of on the fence. May have a shorter lifespan compared. That's not a benefit. So if I were to choose between B and C, B is more definitely a benefit, so that would be my correct answer. So a benefit of artificial selection is providing farmers with high-yielding crops resulting in more profit. Again, which of the following statements describes a benefit of artificial selection? Selectively bred organisms provide farmers with high-yielding crops resulting in more profit. Which of the following is most likely an unintentional example of artificial selection? A, the increasing occurrence of antibiotic-resistant bacteria in hospitals. The flowers from red and white carnations are cross-pollinated by a bee. C, a farmer crosses two tomato plants to yield large red frost-resistant tomatoes. D, a female peacock selects a male based on the size of his large tail feathers. Well, unintentional. This one and this one would be intentional, and so would D, because she's choosing based off his tail feather size. So unintentional would be the increasing occurrence of antibiotic resistance, something that we didn't want to happen. We don't want more bacteria to be resistant to the drugs that we have available to treat them, which means that we're not able to treat them. Okay, so which of the following is most likely an unintentional example of artificial selection? The correct answer, an increasing occurrence of antibiotic-resistant bacteria in hospitals. Cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and kale are vegetables that have different appearances but all belong to the same species, Brassica oleracea. I apologize if I'm saying it right. I'm making a best guess here. What is the best explanation for why the Brassica oleracea have developed so many varieties? A, pollinators such as bees and birds selectively visited certain flower types. B, the variety of vegetables is due to thousands of years of natural selection. C, the vegetables belong to different species and were classified incorrectly. D, farmers have selectively bred the plant species to produce the variations. Well, that would make more sense because what do? We eat all these things, guys, right? So it would make sense that farmers would selectively breed so that we could get this variation. Okay? So, again, what is the best explanation for why Brassica oleracea has developed so many varieties? The correct answer is D. Okay, C I know is wrong. The variety of no natural selection, that would probably narrow us down to 1. But what this one is, pollinators such as bees have selectively visited certain types. Well, that would mean that certain ones would not be around anymore. Okay, and if this was the case, we'd also see this going on in more plants. So, correct answer was D. And I hope this short tutorial helped you out, and I hope you can better understand what's going on when you have artificial, which it was usually man-caused selection, so we are determining who's allowed to have what babies, or natural selection, which is just letting nature take its course. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.